Welcome to Curiousaholic. My name is Haiko. I'm here with my good buddy Evan.
Hi there, Earthlings.
So, before we get into today's episode, here is a quick rundown of how the podcast works. So, in each episode, one of us comes up with an interesting topic that they are curious about and reveals it live to the other person in the hopes to spark a deep discussion and further our knowledge about the world around us. So, Evan, how did that sound?
It sounded like we're going to space.
Going to space. Yeah, you could say so. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. We'll see. Or maybe my slides background is kind of giving you some vibes.
So my hello Earthlings greeting was fitting today.
Possibly. We'll see. But yeah, so let's get into it. So before I reveal the topic, classic, right? Do a little thing before. Riddle me this, Evan. So, often will I spin a tale, never will I charge a fee. I'll entertain you an entire eve, but Alice, you won't remember me. What am I?
Wow, that's quite a riddle there. You got me stumped. I have no idea.
So, what is it that will entertain you but never charge a fee? And you will never remember it. Or most of the time you won't remember it.
Alcohol.
That's interesting. You mean you drink alcohol and then whatever happens you don't remember? I mean, alcohol is pretty expensive, man.
That's true. Yeah, it's not free of charge.
No, exactly. So you don't have that part. Any other guesses?
Maybe like a good laugh or something, or like
Okay.
like good company.
Oh, okay. Like a good, like having fun with people, hanging out, or like good memories. Okay. Mm-hmm. Not quite there, but you want to have another guess before we reveal? Think about it. It's something
maybe a movie.
Yeah, but movies you pay and you do remember most of the time. Something that'll entertain you, and it's something that entertains you like wildly. Yeah, and then sometimes you're like, man, that was crazy, but I don't remember it.
Man, you got me stumped. I have no idea.
You're going to be like, when you're going to see, you're going to be like,
Yeah, for sure.
The topic of today is about dreams.
Oh my God. Yeah, dreams are so entertaining.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
So, so today we're going to talk about dreams. I know this is kind of a spin-off from our last episode where you spoke about sleep, but now I'm going deeper into sleep where
I like it.
The part of dreams. And I just want to understand, why do we dream? What's this thing with dreams? Like, do we even need to dream in the first place? In our last episode, we spoke about how sleeping in general is important for our overall health, but what is the purpose of dreams?
Yeah, good topic. Yeah, like you said, it's like a spin-off to our last one. So
exactly. So I did get inspired.
Cool.
Don't blame me. But so let's get into it. All right, so I'll ask you, why do we dream? Do you have any theories of your own?
So why do we dream?
Yeah.
Well, I think how we explained it in our last episode. I think that our brain has a special function for dreams, right? We need that REM sleep, I guess, which is basically dream sleep, right? So our brain goes into this deep state of sleep, and basically it needs that to kind of recharge, I would say. Yeah. So I think that's the basic function of it. Okay, to recharge in what ways? Like what does it do to recharge? Or I'm not exactly sure how it would physically like recharge our brain, but I guess there is a specific purpose for it, in a sense where almost like our brain lets go, right? Almost like kind of it lets go, and it goes into this state where it doesn't really need to focus on something in particular, and it just we let it go kind of does whatever it wants in a way. Okay, all right, that's an interesting theory. So do you want to know the answer? Why do we dream? Yes. So you're gonna know.
So the reason why we dream is, nobody really knows, actually.
Yeah, I figured. I was like, wow, he's going to reveal something that like...
So it's going to be revolutionary
Yeah,
now.
like some revolutionary theory or something.
So sorry to break it to you. Nobody really knows, but no, I'm kidding. There are still theories, kind of like how, you spoke about sleeping. There are many different theories. Well, the same goes for dreams. So that's what we're going to look at, which are interesting and do make sense, but there isn't one consensus, again, as to why we dream.
Awesome.
Yeah. So before we get into, the different types of theories, so there are kind of two main fields of studying when it comes to dreams. The first one is the interpretation of dreams. The people who are like, oh, I know what your dreams mean. When you're dreaming about this, it means this or that, or, you have repressed desires, or your unconscious brain is trying to tell you something, so those are, the psychologists or the psychoanalysts who try to, pick meanings out of your dreams, which isn't always based on science. It's more subjective in those cases. So that's the interpretation side of dreams. And then you have the functions of dreams. How does it impact you physiologically? Like, what does it help you do to your brain? Does it help consolidate memories, emotions? How does it help you overall? Again,
okay.
Yeah.
So two different like facets of it, right?
Yeah, facets of it, which I'd say the functioning of dreams is more scientific based, whereas the interpretation is like, you and I could interpret dreams whichever way we want. So we're going to kind of look at those and kind of give our 2 cents as to what we think of those.
Cool.
Theories.
I'm down for it.
Yep. All right, so let's begin. All right, so the theories. So the first category, which is kind of the interpretation side, which is the psychoanalytic theories. You know about Freud, right?
Yep.
Sigmund Freud is one of the kind of founding fathers of psychoanalysis. So his point of view on dreams is that it's kind of like a vehicle for wish fulfillment. So your deepest desires, wishes, it could also be sexually related. Freud was always very fascinated with the sexual kind of things. You have sexual things, desires that are repressed. So it's basically you acting out your fantasies. That's how he kind of thought. And he also said this was in a way to protect you from waking up, because he said when you're awake, you might want to have the urge to do something, but you don't do it. But then when you sleep, your dreams are like, okay, stay asleep.
Stay asleep.
We'll do the dirty work and
interesting.
Make you live these situations, but as a fantasy.
Yeah, like a fictional
like a fictitious story,
Yeah.
So you don't have to wake up. So he was saying dreams were kind of like the guardian of sleep.
Huh.
That's how
I like it. That's a cool theory.
Again, it's interesting, and I think that's what kind of fascinates people with Freud's theories and with other things as well, is that it kind of gives meaning, right, to dreams. So yeah, it's an interesting point of view, but again, don't forget it's not really based on science. We can't really,
right,
evaluate that or measure it.
It's his like interpretation of what they are for.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the interpretation side. And then the other person who is Carl Jung. Have you heard about him as well?
I don't think I've heard of Carl Jung.
He's also a very famous psychoanalyst. He was like an apprentice of Freud.
Okay.
So Freud came before him, and then Jung, as a younger apprentice, learned under...
No pun intended. The younger.
Oh, I didn't catch that. That's funny. So the younger Jung was his apprentice, and they learned together. But at one point, they parted ways because Jung had his own interpretation of it. So he was saying that dreams usually had hidden messages, that it wasn't necessarily you fulfilling some deep unconscious wish, but more that your dreams were kind of like... I don't know, how could I say, like a moral compass, or a God telling you, you should be doing this, or like, be careful, or, you're repressing certain emotions, don't do that. And it helps you basically resolve emotional issues or other fears in your real life. So it was kind of like...
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of like two different takes on the theories.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of different from each other. And what do you think? Do you think we should give much merit to those theories?
I think Freud's theory kind of makes more sense, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm not sure there's like a real, meaning to each one of your dreams, and we have to analyze it like super in depth. I feel like it's.
But that was kind of their field of study, basically, of trying to analyze.
No, I understand, but I'm saying Jung kind of has that that impression that almost like dreams have a specific like meaning, and it's
Yeah, you're kind of right.
He's trying to like it's almost trying to tell you something like don't do that, or like I don't think it's that deep. I think it's more.
Kind of agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was saying like as if dreams were like they're trying to send you messages like signals like,
right.
Hey, be careful of this, or you should do this in your life to resolve a certain emotional fear, whatever you might be having trouble with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, which again, dreaming about unicorns or dragons doesn't really
right. Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
Technically, right? Because in what context in real life would you encounter a dragon? And you would fight the dragon or something.
Or maybe I don't know. Maybe Jung would say, yeah, but maybe there's a deeper meaning to that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think it's that deep.
But it's difficult again. Right. It becomes so abstract. It's like, okay, how deep are we gonna go into this?
And I think Freud just has like a better understanding, to be honest, of it. I think you should have listened to his teacher.
Yeah. He was being a rebel.
Yeah, he was being a rebel. He got it wrong. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
He has his own interpretation of it, and that's okay also, right?
I think I kind of, tend to lean towards more his Freud's theory as well, that sometimes we have some suppressed desires or fantasies that we might have, and it could be in a way to fulfill those desires. So
I think that makes more sense.
I think so too. Yeah, but again, it is our subjective interpretation, just like it is theirs.
Exactly.
So now we're kind of gonna jump to the second kind of category, which is the neurological theories based in neurology. So the first is the information processing theory. So this is kind of the one that a lot of people know about, is how your dreams help you to sift through memories, to decode things that you learn throughout the day, to consolidate, different information. It's basically kind of like, how companies during the night, they have the cleanup that comes. Well, your dreams are like, they clean up the mess, they consolidate everything, which I guess makes good sense.
Right. That also makes sense. But like you said, it's more of like physiologically what our dreams are for, whereas,
whereas the Freud and Jung's theory are more interpretations. Yeah. So this kind of makes sense, it's trying to basically rearrange your nervous system in some way to help you function in the next day. The other one, the threat simulation theory. So this is kind of interesting because it does actually tie in a bit to our last episode where you spoke about sleeping, where you were saying one of your theories of sleep was that, because during at night we couldn't see predators. I think that's what you were saying, where we were sleeping to pretend like we were dead.
Right. It was the inactivity theory.
Yeah. Okay. In the inactivity theory. So you were saying, okay, we're sleeping to sort of seem like we're dead so that the predators don't attack us. And that kind of evolved, and now we're kind of sleeping, but we're okay. We don't have any threat. But here, this theory for dreams specifically, it says that when you're dreaming, you're trying to prepare yourself for threatening situations, right? Why do you dream like you're getting chased by someone? You're in a house that's burning down. You're naked in the public for some reason. Okay. It's kind of like to prepare you emotionally, I guess, to be ready to take on.
So is that maybe what Jung was referring to, as in like, let's say you do see a dragon in your dream, maybe it is like a threat protection like mechanism in a sense.
Interesting. I didn't make that connection. Maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he was getting to, but he wasn't able to, actually measure it or,
Yeah. Well, you know how like sometimes I feel like there is a connection there between like the psychoanalytic aspect and even the neurological one, right? We just don't know how they connect per se, but maybe there is like a connection there. And maybe Jung was kind of delving into that threat simulation theory in a sense, right?
Okay.
And maybe the dreams do have like a special meaning in a sense where, it is trying to protect us and prepare us for, something that might happen in everyday life, and the dragon might represent some other type of threat or evil, whatever you want to call it, right?
Could be, yeah. It could be, but yeah, again, it's kind of hard to exactly know, is that dragon really the result of, you're scared from your parents or something, or a bully at school, or whatever other threat that you might have.
So I take it back. I'm sorry, Young.
You're taking back now. but that's the thing with dreams. It's so hard to pinpoint, the exact meaning and function. That's why we have like 10 different theories over here, right? So yeah, the threat stimulation, which I think also kind of does make sense, when you have sort of nightmares and dreams of that sort, they kind of set you up, get you ready. The other one is called the expectation fulfillment theory, which says that it's kind of like the Freud's theory a bit, where it says that the previous day where you had certain emotions, maybe like anger or sadness, and you weren't able to express it, well, then you might express it in your dreams.
Okay.
So
that's interesting, actually.
Yeah. So you're releasing those emotions while you're dreaming and sleeping, so that the next day you can feel good. Your tank isn't filled up and ready to explode.
That's interesting. Yeah. I don't know if I feel that exactly, but you know how like sometimes, let's say you have like a stressful day or something, and then just sleeping it off, the next day you'll feel better. It's almost like you're releasing that anger while you're sleeping.
It possibly could. And I've also heard, when I was doing the research, it said that when you have a really stressful day, a particularly stressful day, your REM sleep amount is going to be way higher than other days.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because REM and dreaming is very, tied in together. It's during that time that dreams happen. And yeah, REM is like the sort of biological process during our sleep that really helps us to process a lot of the emotional, trauma that we might have endured during the day, our memories, etc. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
So
yeah,
I guess that theory as well does make quite a lot of sense. And then on the other end of the spectrum is called the activation synthesis theory. It's kind of a,
the fancy term.
Fancy term, yeah. You're like, what the hell does that mean? So basically this theory posits that dreams don't mean anything. Basically, dreams are just a side effect, a byproduct of neural activity happening at night. So as we know, your brain is not passive when you're sleeping. Your brain is very much active, and there are, nerves buzzing around. And it says that, I think your prefrontal cortex is, sort of at a lower wave. So that's why you're not conscious, but more in the center of your brain, it's active. So when that activity is happening, your prefrontal cortex waking up was saying, oh, wait, I think I dreamt of, this dragon or this whatever. It's trying to make sense of all the little informations that are being passed around in your brain.
Okay.
So yeah, this theory kind of says, it's just your brain trying to understand what it was happening.
Okay, that's interesting too.
Yeah. So, which I think it kind of draws towards the aspect of us humans always trying to find meaning in things,
like this whole podcast basically.
Exactly, yeah, we're trying to find the meaning of dreams. So this theory is saying, it's just your brain again trying to find meaning to that neurological activity when there is none. There is no meaning.
That's interesting too.
Yeah.
The one that interested me the most though was the expectation fulfillment theory. That was a cool one.
That was an interesting one. Yeah,
the one where
yeah, because we kind of feel it's more relatable than
So the one that says that, like, almost like, releasing those emotions while we're dreaming. That's pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, exactly. Which I do find that it does make sense. And yeah, when you have a good night's sleep, you feel like your emotional energy has been restored the next day. It's
true. It's weird because I feel like that one is, like you said, it's so relatable in a sense, because I kind of feel that. It's like, like I said earlier, let's say you had a bad day and, okay, sleep it off. All right. Next day's a new day, right? Yeah, exactly. It just resets you to start. Yeah. But we kind of see how important, again, sleep and also the fact of dreaming is. Yeah. To kind of first, process the information, maybe get you ready for threatening situations. This is the second theory, to fulfill certain
emotional things. And then the last one is just saying, yeah, dreams don't really mean
Dreams don't mean anything.
yeah, the dreams are just a side effect. They're just kind of a brain fart thing, you know?
No, I definitely think there are, like, let's say Jung, he said that all dreams kind of have meaning and they represent something in life. But, I agree with that to a certain extent. But I also think that, they have to mean something, right? They can't just mean nothing, right? They have to be there for a reason, in a sense.
Yeah, I guess so. But again, like the fantastical dreams, like of dragons, unicorns, would you think that there's necessarily meaning in those?
Yeah. See, I guess there's a fine line there. Like I said earlier, like it depends which one, right? I guess.
Yeah. But that's the thing. The activation synthesis theory, it posits that, those weird fantastical dreams that you're having is that your brain is trying to be like, whoa, what just happened last night? It says, I thought I saw a unicorn in front of my house, where there was none of that.
I saw one yesterday.
You did? Oh, no.
Or was that a dream? I don't know. Deja vu?
How do you know this isn't a dream?
This is a dream. All right, we're going on a tangent.
But that is also an interesting question to kind of say how sometimes can you tell the difference between a dream and reality? Because honestly, sometimes, like personally, I feel some dreams are very real.
Right.
Like very much, I'm in my dream and something bad is happening and I'm just like sad and upset. I'm like, no, why is this happening? And then when I wake up, I'm like, oh, thank God.
Right. You almost have like an emotional, not attachment, but almost like an emotional downfall or response in your dream, depending on what's going on. Right. It's interesting.
But yeah, we kind of see how far our dreams can take us and make us feel, right? How real they can feel, where we can't even tell the difference between the reality and dream.
And that's why some people decide to delve into like psychedelics and stuff, right? Because those are the types of drugs that kind of emulate that dream state. And a lot of people end up taking those just because
they want to feel
a certain experience, right? Yeah,
exactly. Anyways,
that's a whole other story. But
that could be another good topic. Psychedelics. But yeah, so those were some of the main theories. I do have some fun questions to ask. Could we ever record our dreams?
Wow, that would make a pretty good movie.
That would make albeit maybe a really confusing movie at times, but
I don't think I would want to record my dreams. There's stuff in there that can't be shown.
I think all of us have stuff that we don't want to show. But yeah, like, do you ever think we could have such a technology to record our dreams?
Well, it seems like Elon Musk is up to something with Neuralink. So
seriously, I wouldn't, be surprised if in 5 years even he comes with like, this is my new company and records your dreams.
Yeah, he's going to be the first one to achieve that, I'm sure.
For sure, yeah. He's the crazy revolutionary of our times.
Yeah, he's like the Albert Einstein of our generation.
I don't know, maybe not.
I'm
Albert,
just saying that.
Okay, yeah.
He's like he's one of a kind for sure.
Yeah, he's like Iron Man.
Yeah, he's like Tony Stark.
Tony
of our
Stark,
generation.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, he kind of is. Really, but yeah, I don't know if we could ever do it, and even if we could, maybe a lot of people might disagree to have it record, or not a lot of people would want to.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd definitely be interesting.
It'd be interesting, yeah, to like rewatch your dreams. I don't know how that would work, but yeah.
Oh, that would be. Yeah, that would be something that I would be interested in. Maybe not like releasing it to other people, but just
for yourself,
for myself. Like, hey, why did I dream that, or what does that mean, right?
Although that's the thing, if that's technology exists and we start in getting into that, holy damn, the ethical issues that will come up, the whole slew of blackmail, towards people, I have your dream, you were thinking about doing this, or you cheated on me in your dream,
That's crazy to think.
Which actually, to do a segue to what I just said, I'm going to jump to my third question, which is, can we be immoral in our dreams?
immortal in our dreams?
No, immoral.
I heard immortal.
No, we already spoke about immortality.
I think you skipped over a question.
Yeah, I know, because I wanted to do a segue to what I said where,
gotcha.
you're cheating in your dream. So
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So can we be immoral, do you think? Like if you're murdering someone in your dream, or someone that's close to you, a family member, or you're cheating, or you're doing something like really bad that you wouldn't do.
Putting me on the spot here. I mean, probably, right? I mean, I guess that kind of ties into that theory earlier that's kind of, almost like protecting you in a sense where, hey, you wouldn't want to do that, or, be careful because this might happen in real life.
Okay.
So maybe it
interesting.
is, in a sense, protecting you and, hopefully for the greater good of who you are as a person, right?
But is it immoral, like if you cheat on your wife in your dream?
I mean, I don't know, but not that I've ever dreamt that, but I'm saying like
You're not married. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, that's true. But I guess it's possible that would happen. I don't think it would be immoral. I think it would just be like a possibility of something that might happen to someone in life.
Okay.
And it's almost like your brain almost like warning you in a sense. So maybe that theory does kind of tie in.
Okay, so you're saying like if you do something bad is because it's more of a warning, but you're not necessarily doing something illegal, like sinful or immoral,
No,
like ethically speaking.
no, I don't think so.
Because in real life, let's say, yeah, you cheated on your wife, it's a bad thing. You shouldn't generally do that. But if a dream happens and you did that in your dream, I guess you wouldn't like blame yourself. You wouldn't be like, wow, I'm a bad person,
No.
ethically, like I did something wrong. It just kind of happened, and you might want to maybe see where that's coming from.
Yeah, figure out why that happened.
But you know what? I think that's the thing. Maybe it might be like a sign, right? Maybe it might say like your marriage not well or something like that, right?
Yeah. Or you know how like Freud was saying that it's almost like kind of like like those fantasies, and it's something that you're never
fulfillment.
I'm sorry?
Wish fulfillment, yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, like wish fulfillment, like maybe deep down, like that sinful part of you wants to do that, but in a sense it's never going to happen, right? So it's almost like your brain protecting you and saying, look, the only way you're ever going to get that fulfillment is through dreams.
Okay.
And
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not necessarily bad.
I don't think it's immoral.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I don't think dreams have that big of a meaning, to be honest. I think they're just there. Like they have a certain reason to be there, but I don't think they're worth like hyper analyzing and being like, why did this happen in my dream, and then this and that, and
Yeah, again, it's kind of like balancing between all of those theories where sometimes it could be, trying to fulfill a wish or a fantasy. Other times it's just, because your brain is trying to consolidate different memories. And then, for some reason it picks up you doing some,
some crazy
bad
things,
deed or something. Yeah. And it might not necessarily have like, oh, this is what it means. You did that, then you're a bad person.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, not everybody's perfect, right? We all have that, that sinful part of ourselves, and and
what he calls the id, Freud.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, we're not perfect, and everyone is in a sense sinful, right? I mean, we're not all perfect, and we're not
Jesus.
We're not the perfect being or whatever you want to call it, and I guess that's just your brain, doing some things that maybe it wishes to do, but it can't, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe, that's the thing he was saying, Freud, you have your id, which is your basic instincts, right? Your primitive desires. Then you have your ego, which is kind of yourself. And then your superego, which is, the moral compass saying, no, you shouldn't do that, or no, that's bad, or no, that's good. And I guess, more your id comes out.
Yeah, so that's where I guess it ties in. I don't think it's immoral. I mean, not that it happens to me that I have those kind of dreams, but I'm saying like, yeah, I feel like if someone would have a dream like that, then I don't think they have to consider themselves a bad person. Just say, okay, it was a dream, and that's it.
I think maybe this question might be asked by a lot of religious people, right? let's say, in your certain religion, you're not allowed to do certain acts or whatever, and you do them in your dreams, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, God, I was sinful even in my dream, which, yeah, again, I don't think we should take that to heart and feel bad about it. We should just say it's just our brain activity, and it's just, we're a complex human being. We have so many memories, experiences,
exactly,
symbolic things that we've seen in our lives. Someone said one thing in our life, and then it comes up in our dream. Why? Am I bad for it? No, it's just your brain doing its thing.
Right.
Yeah,
see, that's also a good point, right? Let's say you hear of a story of someone cheating on their wife or something, and then your dream might just have that for some reason, and you could be put in that scenario.
Yeah,
doesn't mean that you're the one that actually did the act of cheating.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So I guess when you were saying we shouldn't give a lot of like credibility or meaning, it's not like hard evidence.
Yeah. It's not written in stone, like, oh, this happened in my dream, all right, tomorrow this is gonna happen, right?
Yeah. Or that's what your consciousness is actually thinking of doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which, again, that's the thing. There's sort of, yes, deep repressed desires or, kind of instinctual kind of feelings. But, you're an adult. You have your ego, your superego that helps you guide yourself. And,
exactly. It's almost like that animal instinct kind of comes out when you're sleeping, right? Because, your frontal cortex is like asleep. Well, like, less active, and then those other areas of your brain are, more active, and that's the part where the animal in you comes out. Let's say
the animal, the party animal comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Start partying, doing drugs and illicit things.
Yeah, that's.
I guess so. Yeah. But that's the thing, dreams are multifaceted, you have that kind of aspects, and then you have the really fantastical, dragons and unicorns or whatever other weird stuff that you dream about. Again, there's not much meaning. It's just your brain being activated and sort of the result of that. Right?
But also I think that's what differentiates us from animals, right? Animals are driven by that animal instinct. I guess that kind of speaks for itself. But, us humans were guided by our capability of reasoning and understanding certain situations, right? So maybe an animal would be tempted to do all those things that he sees in his dreams, but humans, since we have our consciousness, then we wouldn't necessarily listen to what our dreams tell us to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess people shouldn't forget that at the core of it, we are animals. I'm not saying animals as in savages, but just, have those sort of basic primal instincts that might push us in a certain direction and want us to do something, but we don't act upon it.
Exactly. Because, we could, determine what is right and what is wrong, right?
Yeah, we kind of have that moral compass in us, whereas animals, I want to do it with this other animal. I'm just going to go do it.
Yeah, I'm going to procreate with all the, other females out there or something.
Yeah, because it's their instinct to do so. And we do have that same instincts. Why do you think, the sexual drive is such a powerful drive? Because you're biologically saying you should make more of yourself.
Procreate,
Yeah. Whereas now we live in a society and in social constructs, and we can't just, go around and...
spreading your seed and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe in the olden days in some empires or whatever, they had like 50 wives and, kind of did that, but not in our modern...
Yeah, not in our time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we kind of answered that. And then my second question, which was, if we could one day have the ability to always control our dreams, do you think that would change the nature of dreaming? Would that even be possible, do you think? Like, to be able to control or...
Good question.
There is lucid dreaming, right, currently, that some people are able to actually, control and do what they want. But let's say if we could always have that control.
I don't think that would be possible, right? Just because, like how we said, the cortex kind of shuts off, and then, it's the other areas of the brain that kind of are active, and we don't really have control on those sections of the brain as we do with our logical part of our mind, where we could kind of guide it and think in certain ways. But our dreams are not really guided by that section of the brain. So I don't think you could really control them.
Okay, so you don't even think we could reach that point even? Yeah. It's pretty difficult, yeah. I might.
Yeah, I guess maybe with a certain technology or something, but I think physiologically it's just impossible, right?
I guess maybe something that might be strapped to your head while you're sleeping, and then from the external, it could maybe like you're doing dreams, but then another thing is attached where in that virtual environment you might be able to have your own dreams. I don't know. I'm just saying.
We always go back to the virtual environment because that's where we're headed.
We'll see, for the better or for the worse.
Did you get your RAM upgrade yet?
No, man. I got an appointment with my robologist.
Robologist.
I don't know. Imagine in the future we have robot, doctors.
Right. Oh, you need a external supply of electricity or something.
Yeah. New RAM, upgrade your graphics card.
It's coming. Neuralink is the first step into that.
Yeah. Kind of scary to think about that.
It is.
Like, to implant sort of that type of technology in ourselves. Anyways, yeah, it could be a future, being like cyborgs, and being like
hopefully not.
Yeah, who knows, man? Maybe like cyberpunk.
Yeah,
if you think about it,
Well, but yeah, I don't think it will be possible.
I don't think that either. Yeah, we might maybe have some sort of machine that we're attached to that will enable us to entertain ourselves. So basically each night we will remember doing some sort of scenario, but the physiological core inside our brain, that will do its own thing.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
So I have a question for you actually.
Oh.
Do you think we could influence our dreams? As in, are there certain patterns that we could do in everyday life, and then those, patterns or activities that you do during your day, could that influence purposely your dream?
That would be, I think, again, pretty tough, because as you saw, it's, said how many theories, like 6 theories over there of why we dream, and, could we really be able to do that? Actually, no, you know what? That's funny. When I was doing my research, there was someone who was saying, like, if we recreate the same brain waves in 2 different people, both people wake up saying, oh, I dreamed about unicorns. The other one saying, oh, I dreamed about dragons. So even in those instances where I think they've tried to sort of emulate the same brain waves, I'm not sure how it was done, but both people saw different things. So I think your proposition might be pretty tough.
So let's say you do this. Let's say for 24 hours, every day you do the exact same thing.
Why would you want to do that?
Like, let's say, I don't know why you would want to do this, but let's say like you're in solitary confinement or something and have nothing to do.
Okay.
And you do the same task for 24 hours.
Wow.
Do you think we'd be able to, do you think our dreams would reflect that one activity? Like, do you think that would show up in our dream?
In our dream? I don't think so, honestly. Because I think every day is just going to be different. Even if you really try to replicate the same activities and experiences each day, you're just in a different mindset every day, I think. How did you sleep last night? If you slept just a bit better or a bit worse, then you're going to be, in a different mood.
That's true. Also,
hormone levels are going to be different or whatever. So, yeah, I think maybe that might be pretty tough. And I don't see the use necessarily to try to influence.
I'm going to do it tomorrow and let you know how that goes.
Yeah, really? What are you going to
do? What am I going to do for 24 hours? Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll let you know tomorrow.
But to try to influence what dreams you might have?
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing for 24 hours. Actually, it can't be for 24 hours. Doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah, because you're sleeping for 8 of it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll do the same thing for, how many hours is that? 16 hours. And then let's see if it
But same thing, influences. You mean like some task or something all day? Or
yeah, so let's say you were to play the same note on your keyboard on the piano for 16 hours. Do you think you would hear that note?
Oh, okay. In your dream. I think at that point, maybe, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, so maybe there is a way to influence our dream.
Oh, okay. Okay, wait. I think I was thinking it wrong. I thought you meant like doing a sequence of action each day to like influence your dream, but you're saying like do the same repeated thing
for 16 hours.
Honestly, possibly.
Because you know why? Like, let's say when I was studying, when I was in engineering, and I was studying for one class, and I'd study over and over again the same, let's say, chapter or same subject. At night, I would get that would show up at night. Yeah, I would have
the
nightmares.
chapter would come up and swallow you. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. But then I guess that kind of relates to, your information processing.
Your stress level.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the higher your stress, the more REM sleep you're going to get, and more REM is also going to equal more dreams.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think so. Yeah, you might have something there. But again, it's not concrete. Like, you might try to, I might play the same note every day, but nothing happens.
Exactly. So we have to try. So tomorrow, do that and let me know how it goes.
I'll see. Maybe we'll see about that. But it's an interesting proposition.
If they ask you at work what you're doing, just be like, I need to click on this piano thing for 16 hours.
Just going to torture myself for the sake of science.
Exactly.
For research. But yeah, so those were some of the questions I wanted to ask. Maybe one last thing. The movie Inception?
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite movies, and like the way they interpret dreams and how they access people's dreams. Do you think we could ever have a technology like that to go into other people's heads, like to implant seeds during their sleep?
Well, I guess it kind of...
Or is it total hogwash? What Inception?
I guess it kind of ties into what we were saying earlier, right? Is there going to be a way maybe to record our dreams? If maybe we can record our dreams, and that's a possibility, maybe there are other possibilities as well, like sort of like the Inception type thing,
to like influence someone through that. So
I
maybe
think,
the
I think
influence part, maybe. You know what? Kind of think it could possibly.
It seems far-fetched, but
yeah,
the way technology is advancing, nothing seems far-fetched anymore.
That's the thing. Neurology and all that advancing, and we might think we're complex beings, but then more we understand, the more we might be able to find ways to control it, or
exactly.
infiltrate. Like those big horns.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's wrap this up. So some closing thoughts. So first thing, we might not understand the exact purpose of our dreams, but they do help us in a myriad of ways, as we saw the many different theories. We don't know exactly which one is true, but we see that it helps regulate our emotions, consolidate memories, prepare us for threatening situations, or fulfill certain desires, etc. It can also be, if we look in Freud's view, an opening into our unconscious and see, what's going on, help us understand ourselves better. Because sometimes, when I have bad dreams or nightmares, it's usually because I've been stressed, or there's an anxiety or something bothering me, and it kind of sometimes shows up in my dreams. So it's telling me, hey, there's something wrong, don't keep it in the back of your mind, address it. Maybe it comes to Jung's explanation, right, as a message to me. So yeah, I do think it does open some understanding about ourselves, or it might not mean anything at all.
We don't know yet, but hopefully one day we'll have a better understanding.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I'm saying that because, some dreams really are random and fantastical and almost have zero meaning, which is true. And then, in any case, we see that the REM part of our sleep is very important. It's very entrenched in our biology, and it's during that time that dreams happen. So I don't think it's for no reason. So there is a reason why we dream. So
yeah, I think they're not, entirely pointless. They have to have a meaning.
Yeah.
In some respects, right?
I don't think we evolved to do that for no particular reason.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, why would Mother Nature make us evolve in that way, right? Yeah. If there was no intent for it.
Exactly, yeah. And I think some scientists were even able to see that certain animals, like cats or dogs, even dream from the brain waves and everything. So, yeah, even animals have that. So it is something very basic to our nature.
I would like to record an animal dream to see what it's about.
I want food.
Yeah, I want food. Where's my ball?
I would imagine it might be pretty primitive. I don't think it'll be anything like, they're in a zombie apocalypse or something.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as interesting as our dreams.
Yeah. It would be just animal stuff.
Yeah.
Dog sniffing the butt of another dog that
There's
he
a
really
bee.
liked. There's a what?
There's a bee flying around or something.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I want to catch that bee,
Yeah.
Kind of childish in nature of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, dreams are pretty fascinating. And yeah, man, I guess that kind of does wrap it up. Would you have anything to add?
No, that was a good topic. It tied into our last one, so it was interesting to keep going on that.
Yeah, I went deeper into the sleep, went to the dream part. And
did you dream about this podcast?
I don't know, maybe tonight I might.
You might.
After finishing
I probably
this episode. Will. Really?
Yeah. Is our next episode going to be about sleep again, or?
Really? No, I don't think so.
Not next time.
We're just going to keep repeating the same topics.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was fun.
That was a good one. I liked it.
Anyway, so thank you guys for watching, and yeah.
Yep. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Yep. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
Play us out.
Let's do it. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Curiousaholic.
Our show is available on all of your favorite streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher.
If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to leave a comment letting us know what you've been curious about.
We release new episodes every single week just like this one.
But until next time, stay curious, folks.